I'm going to do another quick video. Sveno and Mick here on, you've seen that one there before, my dad. So this is my dad and Russ, or Russell George Svenson. And that's not Dad's truck, but that's the exact sort of setup that he had, except they said it's got a folding pole and that timber jinker there. That truck's powered by Cummins. Dad had two of those, but they were referred to them as internationals, and they used to always refer to them as the 84s. The C1800s, I think, if I can remember rightly, 2-speed differential, 5-speed box, and air over hydraulic brakes. Single axle jinker he had, but it used to hook up to the back of the chassis, so they'd steer a bit tighter. So that's Dad in the early Rainbirds timber contracting days. He was a dozer driver for Rainbirds, a large timber contractor on the Sunshine Coast hinterland on the Blackall Ranges. I'm not sure where they were based out of. Someone will no doubt tell me. That's Dad, I would say there. It's a Caterpillar by the look of the fuel filler, and it's on a D8, I'd say, D7 or a D8. No canopy, no ROPS, and you can't pick it probably on that photo. That's, you can see the lay of the land going down that way. That's steep country. That's just Dad, no ROPS, sitting there winching in steep country on, I think, a D8. That's on the timber contractor cutters. Cut for Tesh Brothers Sawmill for many years. That's Keithy Reard, and I used to go out the bush a lot with him as a boy when Dad was logging. He had a German Shepherd dog, and he had an old Falcon XP panel van, a 65 model Falcon panel van, white, and his big German Shepherd, I think his name was Snooks. Keithy Reardon's buried at the Witter Cemetery with his wife. That's Keithy in action again, extremely good worker, good cutter. That's Tesh Brothers Sawmill. That's a sawmill at Witter. Parts of the building still exist. The old planing shed there is still there. It's behind conifers. The gantry and most of the other mill, that building is still there. Most of the other is gone. And this is a photo from 1981 when it was still Tesh Brothers Sawmill. Dad was a contractor for them for many years, snigging and hauling. That's a 1950s photo of an International KB6F truck. That's not Dad's. I don't know whose that was. That is looking towards Minnie Moffat's house, which is on the other side of the road. So that's looking back from where that plane, above the planing shed, looking back out towards, say, you would say Howes Knob, or thereabouts, or maybe further west. That's, as I was saying, there's your planing shed there. As I understand it was a planing shed. The gantry, that's obviously not there. Now, Dad had one of these Atkinsons in the 80s. He used to take bulk concrete all around from Brisbane, south, north, east and west. 350 Cummins in it, 15-speed Road Ranger. Now that's one of Dad's 84s. He used to be able to, that's his just single axle trailer. He's got it loaded up there with some sort of boxes. He had two of these steel fuel tanks that he fabricated up. Had cab guard over them, which they fabricated up, bull bars, which they fabricated up. That's Dad and his workers. Like I said, 392 cubic inch V8 petrols. A lot of petrols around back then. Single axle, I think it was a Hallmark trailer. It wasn't a strap trailer. Yeah, they used to go quite well. And he'd had a sliding, you could slide the bolsters backwards, and bolster or turntable back and forth on them, and you knocked a few pins out. Endless chain in the shed, so you could just swap it straight from towing that trailer with the turntable to pins, drop the pins out, lift the turntable off, the endless chain in the shed, and then pop the bolster for going up and getting timber. So it's a bloody great setup. I've never seen it too often after. That's a little single axle trailer that's looking from the North Maleny property towards, that looks like right further away in the background. That's Heading's house, Mr. and Mrs. Heading's from below us, close to Maleny, and that is looking out. I think I can see not Ball Knob, I think I can see Howes Knob, which is the council quarry in the background, but it could be wrong on that. But that is heading down Bridge Creek Road. This is Dad and another worker. I think that's Dad in the front days. They look like D6s. look like D68Us, but I could be wrong on that, and I'll probably get correct on that. They look like McKee winch, or maybe a high steer winch on the back of that back one. But I think that's Dad on the front Dozer, and I've got a feeling he told me that was it at Curram or Witter. Now there's Slim Maleny, another local legend from Landsborough. Slim Maleny was a timber cutter in the 50s. He's a goer, he's still a goer. He was one of Dad's very best friends, and he was one of the only people that went right back with Dad that still continuously visited my father in hospital, and right up until his dying days. And my father was extremely appreciative of Slim Maleny, and he's a great bloke. And that's one of Slim's big old chainsaws, which I've done a story on before. That's Dad. I think that could be Mum, but I'm not sure. That's Graham Ryan there. And I'm pretty sure that is down at Gardeners Falls, just above the car park, where the car park exists now. Came across the creek. I'm fairly sure that's where it is, but it could actually be down at Gardeners Falls itself. Rightio, that's my family. That's me on the left. It's my older brother Peter beside me. Trevor, Russell, Stacey on the right with the curly tinge of red hair. It's my twin brother Mark below, where she's got her hands resting on the middle sister Rob and sister Helen. So twin, that's me, twin, and youngest Russie, Stace, born in 1969, and Trev, and they're in their late 40s now. Same, that's the overall family photo. That's my wife Carl's there, Carlsy, and my son, our son Damien there, and Carl's with me, and our family. That's an Atkinson, the same as Dad's. That's my grandfather George Svenson, the father of Russell Svenson, which is Russ Svenson, and also Gloria Svenson, and Gloria, not Mum, Gloria's sister, Gloria, Dad's sister, and Shirley Larney. That's the back end of one of Dad's 84s, sister Stacey, so it's around about 1970. That's Dad on a D8, I think it's a D8, or could be a D7 over at Bribey Island, clearing. And that's one of Dad's very first trucks. It's my oldest brother and sister, Peter and Helen. They're twins, and they were born in 1960, and that's an old Bedford. I think that was Dad's very first truck he owned. There's Dad's last new truck. He bought that S-Line there, and that was in 1980. He bought that brand new in 1980, and his XD Falcon Ute behind him. That's at Sellers Concrete at Coolum. There's a picture of Dad's 84 again, loaded. That's a picture of my dad on D7 or D8, and it to me looks like a high steer winch, but I could be wrong. No canopy, as you can notice again, and there's Dad heading down two D6s, going down doing winching. Looks like a high steer winch on the back of that back dozer. And Sister Stacey with the dog in the shed on North Maleny property, back of the 84, and that's it. So I just want to do a quick one on that. That's my dad. I'm not getting all sentimental, but I've been meaning to do that for ages, and that's just some of the photos, the only ones I could dig up. I've tried to dig other ones up from workers that work for him, and hopefully they've got some photos, but I haven't been able to track any down. But I will still continue to endeavour to do it. Dad cut log timber and carted timber from a lot of the Conondale ranges, all out down into Mount Glorious, out to Curramore, Chinaman's Creek, all out through Kenilworth, up the Kenilworth Forestry, effectively all over the Sunshine Coast and down in towards Brisbane. As far as I know, he was carting timber in Mount Glorious, down not far from the border ranges, and like I said, great all-round worker. On that, that's a quick video on my dad, Russ Svenson. Sveno, Mick out with a sore shoulder.